Welcome to this lesson on contemporary theories of motivation. In this video, we are going to discuss about self-determination theory, goal-setting theory, self-efficacy, and reinforcement theory. To start with, we have self-determination theory, which says that people prefer to feel they have some kind of control over their action. So anything that makes a previously enjoyed task feel more like an obligation than a freely chosen activity will undermine motivation. Let's try to understand this. Something which you pursue more like a hobby. You write, suppose you are very good at programming and you write, say, thousands of lines of codes every day. So some organization hires you and they starts giving you direction that every day you have to write uh, such a number of lines of codes every day. You have to use only this platform. Earlier you used to do, you have your own way of doing things. So now the programming is skills. So you might be astonished that what is happening now, why you are not very motivated to do it right now, because the previously enjoyed task, which were which was more, the locus of control was internal, is now the locus of control has moved from an internal to external world. So you are bound to lose interest or passion in that work. So it could come in way of your psychological energies which you direct towards a task. So understand, it has a clear implication to reward management system what you offer to your employee. Rewards can be of two types: extrinsic rewards and intrinsic reward. um, Praise, challenging work, feedback, etc. could be internal reward to an employee. Giving some kind of commission, bonus, or monetary rewards, these things will come under external rewards. So and even you have if you could rank your task also. At organizations there are tasks, there are um, responsibilities which are which do not require a lot of cognitive or conceptual skills, which are the tasks which are relatively easier. For that, your external reward system is perfectly okay. But uh, if you are trying to reward your people for performing difficult tasks, complex tasks, requiring a lot of details into it, and you tend to give them some kind of external reward, that could backfire. So this has a clear, and understand that there are three elements central to self-determination theory. They are autonomy, number one; number two, competence or mastery; third one is relatedness or purpose. So every individual has wants a certain degree of control or a say over the task which he or she is performing. So more autonomy is there, a person would be more motivated to explore or do. And next one is, people simply do not perform jobs or tasks because they are looking up to some kind of monetary reward. They are also looking up to development opportunities. So people, so any job, task or responsibility which makes them more proficient, which adds up to their knowledge base, which makes them more expert. So those things are motivation in itself. So competence is the second one. So people look up to such opportunities to sharpen their abilities to gain competence. And third one is relatedness. People look up to managing uh, or having beautiful relationship with people around them. So people tend to contribute back to society in to the best of their capacities. So this dimension talks about relatedness. So if organization is giving some kind of, so anything which is negatively impacting any of the threes, the autonomy, competence, or relatedness, is going to negatively affects an employee motivation. And anything which adds up to, which increases autonomy, competence, and relatedness, is likely to boost an employee's confidence and motivation. The next theory is goal setting theory. Uh, Dr. Edwin Locke did research on goal setting theory and motivation during 60s, and he said that there could be two kinds of goals: specific goals and more general goals. Specific and difficult goals are preferable in comparison to vague goals. Specific and difficult goals with feedback tends to leads to higher performance. So it's good to have a specific goal rather than having a vague goal which is not clear. So it is okay to communicate. Suppose you are a coach and you could say that, okay, just do your best. May not be the best idea to communicate with your players. Rather, you should give them some kind of specific target which they could which they could subscribe to, and they could take up and start working towards it. So that is more meaningful. uh, Understand, an individual is committed to doing a task should or a goal if he or she believes that he can achieve that goal. So self belief, that is very very important to goal setting theory, that I can reach the goal. The next thing is, which is equally important, that I want to achieve it. It has to be there, right? And the third thing is, there has to be some kind of realization that the goal which is there is set by the individual himself or herself. So if if they pursue it like more like my goal, then there is more likely then there is more chances that they are going to multiply their efforts, right? So, and next thing about goal setting theory says that when goals are made public, an individual feels that commitment. It adds up to goal commitment, that I should put in my efforts in the directed way so that I could reach my goal, right? So, and there are different empirical research which suggests that um, goal setting theory is able to predict motivational behavior better when tasks are relatively simpler. When the things are has to do with well learned experiences rather than novel experiences. uh, when uh, the goal is independently set by an individual rather than an interdependent goal. So these things are related with goal setting theory. The next one is self efficacy theory. Self efficacy theory is also known as or social cognitive or social learning theory. It is about an individual's belief that he or she is capable of performing the task. Now let us try to learn this self-efficacy theory by introducing people having low self-efficacy vis-a-vis people having high self-efficacy. People with low self-efficacy are likely to reduce their effort or even give in when confronted with challenging situation or demanding situation, whereas person with high self-efficacy, that is having a high belief that I am able to capable to I am able to achieve the goal, I am able to perform, they would try to exert more energy, they would try to invest more energy in such situations, and they are not likely to give in. So uh, self efficacy is a key to motivate an individual. There are four ways you can improve self efficacy of a person. Next, the first one is an active mastery, that is asking a simple question, that have I done this job before? If yes, so if I have done it something in past, my likelihood of doing it in future um, is becomes more probable, because my degree of confidence in self is multiple, because I have managed some kind of situation in past too. So that is why I can pursue it in future too. The next one is vicarious modeling. So people tend to model behavior from the people around them. So you might not be suppose you are mm, you want to stay fit and you are willing to see invest some kind of time improving your health, so you are more likely to be motivated from your peer, maybe your friend or a relative who has recently reduced weight. Some he was also on a weight reduction program, and so some kind of uh, feeling or confidence that you could see, learn from him that okay, if he can do, why not I? So vicarious modeling has to do with this. It is not like you have to model the behavior with some celebrity or on. Vicarious modeling has to do with the people around you, right? So people who has done, I mean, um, there are celebrities, and you do not derive that motivation from that celebrity, but you tend to derive that motivation from some known face or some people around you. The third one is verbal persuasion, which talks about becoming, which uh, your motivational speakers use this tactic again and again. If somebody convinces, someone else convinces you that you have necessary skills to be successful, it has to do with verbal persuasion. So becoming more confident because someone else is convincing you that you have all the necessary skills at place. The final thing is arousal. It has to do with some psychological energy or energized states which drives a person to complete a task. So these four ways help an individual to increase self-efficacy, and self-efficacy is a wonderful tool to understand human motivation. The next one is reinforcement theory. Reinforcement theory talks about uh, behavior, reward, and punishment. Try understanding uh, all those behaviors would tend to be repeated in future if the behavior are rewarded in some way or the other. So if manager praises the employee, it leads to positive reinforcement, and positive behavior followed by a positive consequence. So understand behavior is positive and it was well praised by the manager, so manager has acknowledged the positive behavior. So chances of this behavior has become multifold. So this behavior is more probable to happen. Employee will do it again and again, right? So that he knows and he is getting some kind of attention from the employee. Uh, the second one is negative reinforcement. In this case, manager stops nagging the employee. So uh, negative reinforcement, you could add praise in positive in reinforcement. Negative reinforcement, you could remove some kind of roadblocks which are hindering an employee's performance. So some kind of removal of negative consequences also has a positive say on employee's behavior. So the when the manager stops nagging the employee feels good about it and involve in a positive behavior. Punishment, anything that is not acceptable within an organization or a person fails to meet up to the organization's expectations. If a manager demotes the employee gets the message loud and clear that what kind of behavior leads to punishment. And finally, extinction, where manager tends to ignore the behavior even if somebody is showing up some positive qualities, and the manager is now ignoring those things, right? So extinction, negative behavior, people tend to do some kind of negative behavior just to attract manager's attention. So sometimes attention is the real concern. So if the manager is not paying heed to anything, he is simply trying to ignore the behavior, so negative behavior would be uh, extinct. It would be removed from re-happening again and again. So that refers to extinction. Okay. So we have discussed about four different theories of motivation. Thank you.